Yeah.
All right, bet.
And we are live.
What it do? What it do? What it do? Now, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This week, I am turned up. Y'all wanna know why I'm turned up? Go ahead, ask me why I'm turned up.
Why? What's going on this week?
Well, everything that we talked about last week did the most amazing thing. It happened and kinda, I don't want to say it proved my point, but it kind of did make me look like I was right this week. I looked right this week. I'm not going to lie, y'all.
I wouldn't say all that now.
I mean,
Don't get ahead of yourself
now
now.
listen, look. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because last week was a very great show. We was talking about how, girlfriends, baby mamas, wives, blah, 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 whatever this. That I'm going to tell y'all was real, right? Mm-hmm. When I saw the video of the girlfriend kirking because the boyfriend gave his baby mama a ride, I literally saw that Tuesday, and it was already like sparkage, like amazing, right? I tagged J-Money in it on Old Book, and I said, "Told you, everyone thinks like this. No one's willing to say it because that's where your thing gets pleased every week or day or however you see your little girlfriends." But then you tell me you see a video about, now explain this video to me about the wife and the
Well, before I do that, I just want to clarify, because even last week after we did the show, I thought about it and I was like, okay, I think I'm more so talking about a man and a woman who lives together or who's coexisting in the same space and they have a child, the title that he calls that woman. Not just a girlfriend, a random girlfriend that don't have a child. It's basically, if you live with a woman, what is her title? When you go out, do you call her your baby mama? Do you call her your girl? Or do you call her your child's mother? And calling her a baby mama is kind of like just, like she's like, you kind of single. Like, that's just my baby mama. You know what I'm saying?
That nigga go home every night and don't answer his phone during the daytime or during a certain time at night. He's very much so exclusive.
Well, I mean, I guess that's more so where I was leaning with it. Not as far as the baby mama comes before a girlfriend he just met. I'm talking about like a woman that has your child, like the levels of the titles that you would call her. So,
well, like I felt so good this week with those videos. I was just like, what's happening in the universe? Like, can we take a second to talk about the universe and the curveball it is throwing us? Y'all know the power of the tongue is starting to seem like more and more evident. Like what we say in our music, how we say like in the movie roles, that's like things that people portray. It's starting to come more and more like fast and furious on people, right? Was that a pause moment? But it's starting to be real crazy. The universe is throwing some real curveballs. So manifestations, y'all believe in manifestations and whatnot?
Yeah.
Certain things. What are certain things that you don't believe that you can manifest in?
There's certain things that you can't. Like, I believe, like, you can speak things into existence, and you know what I'm saying, you can create positivity. But like, if I just want to like snap my fingers and manifest something, you know what I'm saying, I don't believe it happens like that. So that's why I say, to an extent, certain things.
I'm learning that it's kind of weird. Like sometimes, like I used to feel like I had special powers because I would talk about something or I would say something and then all of a sudden it would happen, or I would think about something and then it would happen. So I think I do kind of believe that you can manifest good or bad energy. But if that's the case, then everybody will be rich, right?
True. First of all, I believe that you are or do possess superpowers, JezabelDaTruth. I need to let that be known. Secondly, no, I believe 100% that is what is happening in today's music and rap game. The power of manifestation is being shown. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, they talked a lot about the struggle, the reality of things that was happening around us, right?
Right.
Okay.
music that got kind of braggadocious. Some people would say it's like what the term was made up in the music industry or the world, fake it till you make it. Where artists are talking about things they have and they don't have it yet. Artists are moving like they are millionaires and they probably don't even got $1,000 in their bank account. Things like that. So when the music now is changing it around, and not just the music, is actually pouring over into the real world where like people are saying stuff and doing it. Now I think the most prominent thing is like people actually acting on what they're saying now, and it's a lot of people not acting on what they're saying.
Yeah.
So when you ask like, well, why can't we speak ourselves rich? Well, we can't speak ourselves rich because rich does not happen overnight or without work, right? It's like, I mean, you can't say I want to strike it rich without doing no work if you're not at least playing the lottery every day or whatever is high or whatever the case may be. You got to be doing something to speak that into existence. It's like you want to get a car. What are you doing to get that car or whatever the case may be? You want to drop an album. You want to like promote your album. You want to market yourself. You want to go on the road. There's a lot of things that artists don't understand the power of the tongue that they put into their own system and the power of the tongue that they put in their own obstacles. A lot of people talking about they can't do things because they got to work. They can't do things because they got to do this. They can't do
They
things
build
because
their own
this
walls.
happened. Ugh,
You said, yeah.
the
They
walls is
build their own
crazy.
walls. They build their own barriers. You know what I'm saying? Like some people need to look at that as a blessing. Like at least you have a job to go to, and you know what I'm saying, financial stability to do so. But instead of that, you like, all right, all I can focus on is this. It's 24 hours in a day. Everybody just chooses to use it different.
Yeah, and to them 24 hours go by fast as shit. So you can't. It's like the I don't want to say the older you get, but the more mature you get, the more you realize how precious time is, and you have to make the best out of it.
Man, I don't even believe in time. Have y'all ever woke up and stayed up to like the next day and then stayed up that whole day and then went back to sleep like roughly probably around the time that you woke up the day before 2 days ago?
Bro, I've been up for 3 days before, so like I
I
know
So
how
you
it feels.
know.
tell so like when you do that and you stay up for a long time. Have you ever done that before, Jezebel?
Yeah.
Like when you do that, you realize that everything pretty much is like you someone will come to you like, oh, today's Wednesday. You're like, what? It's Wednesday. What, like
Technically, it's Sunday.
it's
Like,
Sunday. Like you know what I'm saying? It's like the only thing that controls time is when you go to sleep. When you go to sleep, something new happens in the universe that you miss that tells you that it's a new day or that was another time ago. I don't really
nah,
believe in
so
time. I'll be battling that.
nah, I'm gonna tell you
Mm.
what it makes you realize is like the only thing that really exists is time and space. You know what I'm saying? And time and space is what puts us on the same agenda, the same calendar. What brings us together right now is time and space. We know to meet at a certain time, and we're gonna create this space. You know what I'm saying? But if it wasn't for time and
Yeah,
space, we could just do this shit at any time. So it's a coordination. For real, that's what time and space is. But once you stay up for a certain amount of time, you realize
time is
that
fake.
yeah,
Time is
like it's
fake, J
It,
Money. Because
it is.
because my man in Alabama right now, I told him 5 o'clock and he says 5 o'clock. So I'm like,
That's
yeah. Did you
six
see the
o'clock.
show? He's like, no, it was 6 o'clock and y'all look like y'all already was about to be done. I say, yeah, my boy, that's we start 5. I'm
our
about an hour
difference.
behind. But the same
Our difference.
time is happening. People are telling us the time. People are telling us someone has controlled the time to tell us when to move in a certain line and to keep us on. There's one of my
And you
friends.
go ahead, but I
One
got
of my
something to
friends
say.
says he doesn't go to sleep at night because most of his business is done on the West Coast,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
then he has to put things together during the daytime so to make all this stuff happen. I say, yeah, you sound like a machine, like me. I don't.
Hmm.
What was you about to say, Jezebel?
I was gonna say I was on the phone with Sprint the other day. And I was talking to one of the agents, and he all telling me his business and shit. So he was just like, "Yeah, I'm over here in the Philippines." He was like, "Yeah, it's 4:30 in the morning right now. It was 4:30 here, right?" So I'm like, "Oh, okay, wow. You guys are like 12 hours ahead." He's like, "Yeah, it's already Saturday." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, I thought about it." And then also in my mom's country, they don't do daylight. Some places don't do daylight
Do
saving
daylight
time.
savings time.
Imagine.
So it's the same time. Like, so when she calls over there, sometimes it's 4 hours ahead. I think we're 4 hours. No, we're 4 hours behind or 5 hours behind. And she was explaining to me, she was like, "Yeah, their time don't change. Only our time change here." And I was like, that's nice to know.
Yeah, no, I seen a ad that said we think about time in America differently, but there's some one country in Africa that is still in 2014.
Ethiopia, I think.
Hey, that is probably it. That sounded way accurate, more than what I was gonna say. But yeah, it's still in 2014.
Yeah, they like way behind.
I had a guy tell me after showing him my ID, that doesn't look like you. There's no way you're that age. I'm not gonna say my age on here. I act like a woman with that with the age. My age is my age. It's private. I don't know how old I am. I had to take it on. I had to take it off Facebook. I don't like my age. The reason why I'm talking about time is because I'm thinking about time now, and everything that I do, I think
Mhm.
about the time that it takes to do it.
Right.
And
Mhm.
it's like, all right, if we thinking about the time that it takes to do it, are we getting the job done properly because we're battling against time? Or are we just
No,
rushing?
we're Russian and overwhelming and like putting more pressure on yourself. I mean, you should get things done in a timely manner, but you shouldn't feel like you're racing every freaking day.
Like I had an artist ask me, how should I go about releasing my music? Right?
Mm-hmm. What'd you
And
say?
I felt bad because I didn't know what to say. It's like, is there a right answer to how should I release my music besides release it? You know,
Mhm.
but they're asking for a plan, a strategy, a system, right?
Mhm.
But I'm like, come on, artists like Kendrick Lamar, who drops what every 3 or so years,
Mhm.
he doesn't lose any thunder as much as a person like Future, who drops every 3 to 4 months. It
So
doesn't have any lackluster.
I think for anybody they're looking for a plan, a strategy, right? And even if you're selling fucking weed or anything you're selling, you need to have a plan, a strategy, a sales, a market of who you want to sell to. And if they don't
Yeah,
have that, they just don't have the mindset to sell a record. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know
yeah.
that, like man, this shit will pop in this club, you need to get with that DJ. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like get with somebody to do that. If not, that's just my suggestion. You know what I'm saying? If not, release it and see what it do.
Well, let me ask you a question because this was my confliction with that answer, with that question. Do you believe in today's world where the universe is throwing us curveballs that you can make a record last like let's say 10 years ago, where it could last a month, two
What do
months,
you
three
What do you
months?
mean make it last?
I
Like
mean, you
what do you
remember,
mean
like you
last?
when we used to hear the radio, a record would play for a month. We like, oh my god, I'm tired of this record.
Mhm.
A video would run all the time. I mean, I don't. Do we even have video channels anymore, or videos just
Yeah.
exclusively YouTube?
They got videos on BT something, whatever that music video channel is on Comcast, and then also the radio do play songs over and over and over and over and over and over and over for months. Like I sometimes tune into the radio because I want to stay. I want to know what they're playing. What's still like in my and they're playing the same stuff every hour. Like one song will play and then the next show come on that be the same song, the first song of their show. Like they'll keep it's repetition and they
So
don't leave space for other music. And I think that's what really annoys me about radio sometimes. It's like they have a set list of what they're going to play, and everybody plays the same set list. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even satellite radio, it's like, what's the point of having satellite radio or online radio stations if you're going to play the same stuff that's on the regular radio stations? Like,
Yeah.
nobody's opening, any
The
space.
floodgates. Nobody.
Yeah.
Honestly, with me working in
But
radio, I seen something. But go ahead, J Money.
No, I was gonna say some songs, you know what I'm saying, take years to be even picked up. Like I think Fetty Wap had that same song going for like 2 years before that joint, you know what I'm saying, hit. You know
And
what I'm
then it
saying?
hit and lasted maybe a month after trying to get it popping for 2 years.
Man, I think that joint lasted about a year, you know what I'm saying? But after it hit, it hit. See what I'm saying? It might take time. Like, I feel like if you put out the song and you're not doing anything, you're not marketing, you're not putting anything behind it, you're not doing nothing to it, what do you expect to happen? If you spent
Correct.
that amount of money on recording and shooting a video, you paid 500 to a videographer, and you paid 300 for studio time and mixing and mastering. Spend that same amount on marketing that video and pushing that video and trying to get it on, you know what I'm saying, those channels, or else how can you say that you missed the opportunity that you never presented yourself for? That's how I
Correct.
But
look at it.
there are so limited opportunities, and I think that's where some of the frustration come in for
Yeah.
artists, because you're
Yeah.
paying for this marketing, you're doing everything that you can do, but your local DJs won't even open the email to listen to your music to play it during their set, or
Unless it's $50 soon, cash out.
to get on the radio. Is like, okay, yeah, they'll play it, they'll do like
When
how they what's her name, Bacon Bear, she does, independent interviews, and she'll
Yeah,
play your
that's
music, but
cool.
that's just like for an hour. That's just like one time for the whole month, instead of them having like an indie artist hour. Like, that would be nice if they had an hour where they just dedicated to local music, like how they have the go-go hour. Because
I'm a,
when you
I'm
go
gonna take it a step further though, right? And
Mhm.
I hate to cut you off, my bad, but I want to take it a step further. Why do indie artists even need a segment? Why aren't the radios browsing for good music and playing it and putting it out there?
You know why?
Say that one more time.
Why do they have to differentiate the music as an indie artist or a mainstream artist? Why aren't they just browsing for good music and playing it?
Because
You know
they
why,
don't
and
get paid. They don't get. I don't think. I'm not gonna say they don't get paid to do that, but aren't they sent a list? Like
I
when you
mean,
work on regular radio.
to be quite honest, let's just be blunt. No, they
Uh,
ran by dinosaurs though.
mm,
The radio was ran by the same people on old book that's sitting there just saying, "Oh, this music sounds the same. I'm tired of this music. I don't like these new artists. This artist is talking about the same thing over and over and over again."
mm.
They're the dinosaurs. They ain't like look. I work at the radio station. There are 9 other radio stations or radio shows or whatever they call it, stations or whatever inside this media center. So with my show Hip Hop 95, we got Hot 92.3, then we got KMAX and WTTR Radio, then you got Rock 100, and then you got Jazz Beats. So the list goes on and on. But one thing I realize is I'm the youngest one there in the way I act or carry myself, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
They had a summer intern, come from college, come from Howard. He goes into my station. He's like, "Why don't you play the same music everyone else plays?" And I'm like, "Do you hear it? I don't want to be playing that 1990 or 2000 stuff all day, every day. When I'm not at work, you might hear NWA record on the radio or a
Shoot,
goddamn
take it. I forgot what I heard one day, and it was, see, for me, I like, good thing I like old music too, but I kind of was like, remember I had hit you, and I was like, are you there today?
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
hit them with
yeah.
that one time too.
I'm like, I respect the old music. I respect the old music. But people ask me, why do I give so much gripe to the old artists and the older artists? And I'm like, it's not because the artists. I love their music. Their music is why we make music. But the people that supported music and make music, it's like the kids grew up and they was like, oh my God, I love let's just throw Kanye out there because that's all I can think about right now. But
Okay.
they like little kids and like I love Kanye. Then they go up there and they say I want to work in radio so I can play Kanye all day. Then they get that job finally at 30, 40 years old and forget that somebody put Kanye in front of them. You know what I'm saying? They forget how the circle of life works. Someone had to present that. And now when you become that person, someone called me a gatekeeper. And I was like, wow, what kind of, personification did I give off to make you call me a gatekeeper?
Mm-hmm.
But I realized that there are powers that are put upon us. Like you said, we get powers.
Yeah, and that's I was thinking about that when I was thinking about podcasting, right? So everybody has a podcast now, and it's amazing. It's kind of like rapping. Like everybody can rap, so everybody can podcast.
Yeah.
Everybody, once you see a lick, you gonna go for it, right?
Yep.
So I was thinking more so of the artists, like these celebrity artists that are out here, these hip hop artists, and everyone has a podcast. Lil Wayne, Nori, Nicki,
Done. Done.
who
Done.
else? Young Miami.
Done.
Everybody. Rick Ross is getting ready to start one.
Done.
Everybody has a podcast, right?
Yep.
And you see them invite their celebrity friends on there, and they talk about, their journeys and all of this other stuff, which is nice, which is cool. However, I don't see them like even like giving opportunity to even local artists in their areas, and not even local artists, or just indie artists that they see, or artists that they see aspiring to come up and kind of give them some gems. Now Gilly and Wallow, they kind of try to give out gems sometimes, but it would be nice to highlight the up and coming, like reach back kind of sort of, and it's not their responsibility to do that. However, I just see everyone's just so damn selfish, and I really it kind of just shows you how the music industry is kind of shaped
Well,
up
I'm
there.
gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all. First, let's play devil's advocate for a second. Indie artists do not make it easy for anybody to reach and give back. Let's just get that out the way.
And why you say that?
I mean, like, do you understand how many times indie artist sends me their records and I gotta procrastination
Not organized.
on their part when I tell them just register it so we can play it and get you, your shit together. You know, it's like if you get asked for EPK, half of the artists will ask you, "What's that?" You know what I'm saying? Like not learning certain stuff because, like honestly, most of you artists that's in the game right now are not artists, are not rappers, and are not real serious about your craft. You're just hoping that you got something that someone is willing to pay for.
And I think it's levels to indie artists too. Like,
Of course.
I'm not talking about the ones that ain't that's I'm not going to say all the way at the bottom, like not serious, which is to me all the way at the bottom. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about someone, they kind of ringing bells, but they ain't like really, really that big, but they may have caught your eye.
Right.
So why not bring them on your podcast? You know what I'm saying? And give them the game and, kind of talk about their talent. I'm not saying that the
the
celebrities need to
people,
reach out
the
to the.
people make people interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Hold
you
on.
got
Wait, that flew over my head.
yeah, the people make people interesting. Why did we all want the Popeye's chicken sandwich? I mean, it wasn't because they was killing people each other for it, but it was because the people was telling everybody this sandwich was the best sandwich in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Why did let's talk about Glorilla for a second. Why was everybody on Glorilla's radar? Because the people kept sharing this video. Guys was talking about how ratchet it was. Girls was talking about it was the new theme song.
And everybody was making, and guys was making their remixes. Like it was so,
Yeah.
and you know what? Just to speak on that record, it doesn't even like she could have said nothing on there. The beat was so hard. I mean, it was just definitely a banger. So she was in a win-win situation
I
anyway.
mean, like, and that's a whole never conversation because a lot of artists. One day we got to talk about that. Y'all don't understand. Beats save y'all, and when you go from those beat types, you kind of expose yourself. But we're gonna talk about that another day. But the people talking, the people speaking, a lot of people that you share to as indie artists are not talkers. Why do we keep sharing to non-talkers? I know a lot of artists that be up in the girls' inboxes like, oh yeah, check out my song, girl, check out my song, or drop or up in the dude's inbox, drop a fire emoji on my last video, tell me if you like it, and it's like, all right, now am I dropping a fire emoji on it because I like it or because you asked me to? Whatever the case may be, once I do that, am I now a part of the chain gang? Actually, yes, I've played along. And when I play along, anybody that's following me sees the games that I'm playing, the things that I'm saying. It's like a whole world of trying to link stuff up. And honestly, indie artists, all these podcasts popping up, all of those old artists that you named that's doing these podcasts, you best believe that these are not situations done because like, oh, they got stuff to talk about. These are situations because people cannot afford to just bring all these people out anymore. And these people need to have their voices and their stories and their faces relevant and still talked about.
So are you saying that these celebrities are scrounging, they scraping?
I mean, all of the celebrities, COVID exposed everything, yeah.
Mhm.
If y'all don't realize, we had Anita Baker
Mhm.
begging people to stop listening to her music because she found out she wasn't getting stream money. She called it owning my masters. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
All the while watching one of the top artists of all time, Lil Wayne, sell his masters for what everyone called pennies, like we just all got 100 million lying around.
Mhm.
So you see how things was, you know? I mean, like, uh, you realize artists can't even control social media, and that was a platform where you was thought to be in control, thought to be to say whatever to your fans, reach out to your fans, and they can share whatever content to your fans.
Mhm.
And Boosie proving that's wrong. Hell, they banned the goddamn president of the United States.
Mhm.
So
Let's rewind to the owning the masters thing because I don't know if maybe it's just in my head, but I feel like once people get their masters, it's like the door closes. Like now it's
Mm,
like, here you go, you don't get no more help, or well, you know what I'm saying, you got this now, you know what I'm
it's
saying, kind of like
because
no more
once
machine
you
behind you once you get your masters or something.
yeah,
Am I
once you own
tripping?
your
no,
masters,
you not. You not.
once you own your masters, you're owning percentages, and if you don't know how to negotiate, then owning 100% of nothing is just going to leave you with nothing. If you can't be like, all right, cool, and sell 20% or you know what I'm saying, 15% or 5% of your masters so it can make more money, then there's no point of having your masters. But people don't understand the business behind owning their masters, and I think that's a part of what independent artists don't really study and realize and learn how to do.
I mean, take it one step further. If I come to you all's label and they say, look, bro, this is going to be your team. JezabelDaTruth and JmoneyGibbs, that's your unit. Like, they're going to help you get to the top. Anything you need, you reach out to them. Okay, great. Now there's going to be a light bulb that goes off in my head. I don't need y'all. 20 years later, down on my career, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm great. I'm popping. I'm big. I don't need y'all. Well, I walk away. I take my masters, and I'm trying to build all these relationships that I built only because y'all were in the picture. Well, what happens when y'all no longer work for me? Y'all skills are still needed, and now y'all got somebody else that y'all are giving all those networks to. So when I'm reaching out and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to do this, and like, oh, we got somebody, the new, fresher, younger you. You know, yeah, Jezebel and J Money got us an artist for that. Sorry, we're not gonna need you tonight. Now I'm out here trying to figure out, dropping my album, because this is where all these old artists, when they turn indie, look crazy, right? They drop these albums and they're like, I only did 50,000 units. How? When I was doing millions. Well, J Money and Jezebel were behind the scenes pressing a lot of buttons and making a lot of things move and shape for you. Now you've taken your masters. No one gets paid off it anymore. No one's going to move for you anymore. And the people that you hire to move for you only can move based on your power and what you know. So imagine if you was one of those artists that was really busy all the time, and you may learn a little bit, to get your masters back, but you didn't learn how they was moving your masters, how they was getting you the big gigs, how they was getting you to, So now you're settling for doing Geico commercials.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens that way because artists think, every artist, even indie artists down at the bottom, get that false perception of ego. In my song Heroes, I said egos are like eagles now. That statement merely means that how we used to look at the bald eagle like, sheesh, they were rare to find. They were like, now we can go to the zoo and see an American bald eagle like it ain't nothing. It's like, wait, I thought it was one American bald eagle, and now like all the world has one. You can just see it flying in the sky. That's how everybody with their egos are, just walking around with it right on their chest. Artists, it's like they got one song on, they think like they got a deal. Big belts, want to be VIP in the club, want their own section, want the bottles. You got to make sure that they want their record played because it's so hot. They didn't even get it mixed and mastered, but it's so hot. It's about to be the next thing smoking. All right, cool, whatever. Hey, so like, we got to ask ourselves, why is all the old music still being played? Well, those ain't the niggas that's like, I own this thing. 100% data, and I dropped it on DistroKid and United Masters, and I'm a boss. Okay. Where's the one for that?
Yeah, I mean, because I was thinking about that. I'm like, it seemed like once you own your master, that's kind of like it.
Yeah. But think about it. Where's the only place that they free? And it still pays them, and they can still use those masters for whatever they need. That YouTube.
If they don't know that, that's what baffles them. They think it's magic. You know what I'm saying? They think it's somebody, you know what I'm saying, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna put it out and everybody gonna run to it. No,
well, there's always a Dan and a Bob up top. What do you think, Dan? I love it, Bob. Hey, let's do it. Let's get it done. You guys don't worry about it. We'll take care of the paperwork. Here's your check. You're gonna play those songs every day, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, all you artists out here, I'm gonna tell y'all blunt, frankly, you need yourselves a Dan and a Bob up top.
Yeah.
You can't run it yourself.
You know what? You just reminded me of something. So I was thinking the other day, I was like, you know how we keep screaming, or people keep screaming, oh, we need an all black this, we need black people to own this and do this and all this. And you have Diddy and you have Jay-Z up there at the top trying to make moves or whatever, right?
Yep.
So I was like, okay, Diddy's like, I had to look into Ciroc or whatever. No, it was Revolt. I had to look into Revolt because it's supposed to be, for us, by us kind of thing. And I was like, Then I look, and I'm like, Diddy's not 100% owner of this. Like, he's,
not.
And I'm like, okay, well, who's he partner up with, right? So I get to search and I see the CEO, and of course he looks like us. And then I'm like, okay, but who's the co-founder with Diddy? And it's, someone of a Caucasian person. I don't know if they're Jewish or Caucasian. And I was like,
how do we say this?
Yeah, that's...
How do we say this? Nothing is powerful, big, and worldwide without white people hands in it.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right, because I just... Okay. So it's not just me.
No,
I was just looking at it, and I was like, okay, why is it that even our people that's at the top, it seemed like they can't really make no major moves without
Right.
having to partner up with someone else.
I'm gonna tell you why, and man, I'm gonna tell you why, and this is like, it's because everything is owned by. There's only 3 organizations if you really look at it: Sony, Universal, and Warner Brothers. Everything in the world is owned. So if you have your masters and you're not selling it to Sony or Universal or Warner Brothers, you're owning 100% of nothing. And if you don't know how to market and strategize with those people, or have an influencer or someone who is with, because everything is under those things. Columbia, Atlantic, all those things are under those companies. So you have to realize that yes, you need to work with other people.
I mean, people gotta ask themselves: do we really need that, right? Because there's a thing called rich, wealthy, shit like that or whatever. You can have all of those things without succumbing. But we're talking about running an organization all black. And I'm here to say, I put it on stamp right here on record. It can't happen. It's this too much. Look at the Herb Gotti situation. Look at the Jay-Z situation. Let's look at Def Jam. Do we think Def Jam would have got Def Jam if he didn't have Rick Rubin as his partner? I mean, like when black people get power, unfortunately, they have to cut people off and out.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad thing about it is, why do they have to do it? Because power is given to them by the real power. It's like, yeah, buddy, we can definitely give you all that. We can make you a trillionaire, but your friend J Money, he's a little bit rough on the edges. What do you want to do about that? Because we can't trust you with that type of money, with that type of person hanging around you. Hey, J Money calling. I've been trying to call you for months. Yeah, new number. Boop, 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 boop. Running to the man on the street like, yeah, I've been busy, but I'll catch you. I'll catch you later.
I've been busy.
Oh, I know. I see it on the gram. Because that's how everybody get caught now. You living your life on the gram. So I mean, like, the reality of it is, the real power, the people that hold the real power, control how you move when you get in power, because you're scared to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one call. You one call. From losing it all.
It's so much deeper than what we think is on the surface. Because I know sometimes we can be like, oh, well, why don't they do this? They all the way. They got all that money. They got all that. They up there. Why can't they do this? Why can't they do that? And it's only but so much they can do on their own without needing assistance to,
We ain't in the world no more where y'all gotta lie and act like you care about other people. I'm sorry, y'all. I know that your mama's raised you to share and care. Your daddy's raised you to protect and be loyal and hold people down. But y'all do know that, newsflash, and I'm gonna come closer, no one does that stuff anymore.
Yeah, I had to learn the hard way in 2020. I was thinking about that. I was like, damn, I was thinking about the past few years, and I was like, yeah, this just working in this space, like, really, really showed me. And my ex used to be like, you need to toughen up. You can't be, people ain't nice out here. He's so nice. People ain't nice out here. You need to fucking toughen up. I used to be like, but the world is such a happy place. Why can't we just help each other?
Nothing, listen. Do y'all understand? Nothing that was made to make this world a happy place keeps us happy anymore. Social media, we get trolled, we get harassed, we get cussed out, we get into arguments. Video games, we get trolled, we get harassed, we get cussed out, we get in arguments. Places of peace and solitude, you can now scroll and there's peace, fighting, and arguments every day. So, I mean, like, the reality of it is, all of these things that was created to make life easier for us was put out there. So when you got all these people going out asking, why can't they help us? Why can't they give back? Put your big boy drawers on or your big girl pants on or skirt on and ask them, why can't you give me a shot? Because you don't even think of you only want to know about yourself. When you start asking about us, you start shutting things down. Don't ask about us.
Wait, no, you didn't. No,
Get
you
yourself in there. Get yourself in there. Hook yourself up. And all you can do for real is leave behind a blueprint for anybody else that want to get in there. If they can't, they can't. If they don't, they don't. It's like on this show, we used to start at 5 o'clock sharp talking about the music business and how to get your paperwork registered and make sure you're doing this and that. And I still get phone calls today from artists that say, I wish I would have listened then. Can you tell me how? And I just don't have the time. It's like, bro, you want me to be stuck in a time frame with you?
No,
I don't know that.
Just go back and rewatch the videos. They up there. They still up there.
They still up there when my hair was a little bit longer and when my hair was a little shorter. They're all there.
You're right about that. So I wanted to play a video for y'all.
Yes, video time.
Okay, so this is basically Young Jock. He was explaining how Atlanta got the torch and how it's not being passed because other cities can't seem to get their shit together. They can't seem to put the money first. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing started up, y'all.
Okay, Young Jock.
And it was one specific part that really caught my attention.
I got an interesting story after this video about Atlanta and how they move. What made me move to Atlanta?
It's a lot going on down there too. Hold on.
That's the price you pay for being the greatest. And I love y'all DMV. I still love the DMV, huh? But when I look back and come back to the DMV and see the stuff that's still happening up there, it's so disheartening.
You don't think you want to move back?
They want to put themselves backwards so bad. When I first moved to Atlanta, I was like, dang, DC on the way. They actually making it happen real quick. And then they started to try to be somebody else again.
Yeah.
Like now you got to build that image up again. It's like, all right, we don't know who y'all want to be.
All right, I don't think that's
man. I just seen Flip not that long.
You watch too much Vlad.
That's why we never gave that shit up. Yeah. Don't nobody in that room move in Atlanta. That shit ain't gonna work nowhere else. Cause it's influenced by everybody. Right now, they're gonna go on the break. They don't gotta go on the break no more. We can see it. The world can see what's happening. They're watching what's happening in Atlanta. It's just one of those things. You got a lot of people who come here dedicated to get education, dedicated to excel, dedicated to make music, dedicated to be a part of.
Can y'all hear it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. He's gonna get to the point. I hope he hurry up and get to it
some way, somehow. And that's why we ain't never gave that shit up. Now, you got your rappers who beef here and there in Atlanta, okay. Yeah. But we could talk about those. You could count how many beefs that the world know of on one hand.
So I want y'all to just remember that part right there because this is what caught my attention with this interview. And yes, I watch a lot of Vlad. F whoever
you go to these
like
other cities, the whole side of town beefing with the whole side of town. Niggas can't come together because they beefing with these cats because they do this dance this way and they do that dance that way. We kept a lot of our beef suppressed. That's why even me, there's a certain guideline that we follow. That's why even me coming on Vlad the last time with me sharing all this stuff, y'all say it's exposing. No, I'm just enlightening you to some of the things that I've suppressed and I dealt with. Could I have been beefing with niggas? Yeah. From the stories I told, don't it sound like I could have been beefing with niggas? Yeah. But I chose not to. And I said, I ain't gonna fuck it up because this bag is way more important than this beef. And that's what I did. Other places can't get to the bag because they make the beef more important than the bag.
Well said. Well said. Well said. And it's every other place. It's listen. There's a certain piece of hospitality that even I had to get over when I first moved down here. It took me about 6 months to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like when you pull up to a studio, it's like, come around the back, you know? And it's like, you look back and it's like, whoa, that's a dark path. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nope. When I first got here, there were times when I got back in my car and I was like, nope. Called the wife, they trying to set me up. Hell nah. You know, they called me back like, bro, where'd you go? I'm like, I left. I had somewhere to go. And like, we cooking fish in the back and everything. And I'm like, oh, it's a whole party back there. Now I'm like, I understand that. Everybody down here is family, right? Everybody down here realize that there's some type of connection that you have. Because if I get this show booked and you got this show booked, we both got to be on stage together. I'm not about to mess up my bag because, oh, you about to be there or you about to be there. Mind you, a lot of the stuff that happened was not from artists that are from here and or not from two artists that were from here or the same time. Power struggles, dominancy is everywhere. People wanting their spaces everywhere. But when you realize that you guys are killing your talent and you're only people that can pull the next person in, well, why do you think that it's going to take your set another 4 or 5 years to get on, or 3 years to get on? Y'all all old now and gave up.
Yeah, they more concerned about killing each other than actually like making their city pop, and that's what caught my attention with that when he said it. He was like, "Yeah, like really think about all the big Atlanta beefs, you know." But then you see other places, and that's all they want to do. And half these niggas can't even perform. Like a lot of the DC rappers, they can't even perform. They scared, and I call it scared because if you can't perform, you shouldn't even be beefing. Like if you beefing, you can't come out, then you scared. So what you beefing for?
Like crazy. But let me tell you the part that really caught my attention that he said in that joint. A lot of people in Atlanta and a lot of people that come to Atlanta come down here and learn that education and that business. And y'all gotta understand something. When I first came down here, I was in the DMV working with a lot of producers, doing a lot of shows. A lot of the venues wasn't licensed. A lot of the producers didn't know what BMI ASCAP was. I come down here and work with every producer I work with and said, yeah, here go my BMI information. Here go my ASCAP information.
Atlanta's where I learned the business. Atlanta and LA.
But first of all, you can't sit like Mr. Kevin Samuels.
I didn't even see that.
Nah, for real though, like.
But no, exactly.
You definitely learned the business there though.
100%. And like you realize something here. And I don't know, like I think that either you're moving out or you're realizing that I gotta pay this and it's easy to get this. When you think about, I gotta pay $1,300, $1,500, $1,600, $2,000 for my mortgage or my rent or whatever the case may be, and you start thinking, dang, I just made $1,000 this week. I got 3 more, weeks to do this. Like you start realizing, oh, okay. But like being in cities, like I told y'all, being in cities like the DMV or any city that's like the DMV for that matter, it's going to be a problem doing that because the culture is set on top 10s and bringing in talent, not about exposing talent. See, the thing about it is you got to realize everybody in the DMV, everybody in like small towns like North Carolina and towns like, you know what I'm saying, these little weird towns and stuff like that, weird cities that's doing this. Y'all think about how when they're looking to bring in artists for these venues that they need to make the revenue for the state or for the county or for whatever that they need to make it for, they're not thinking about you all because you're there every day, not generating any fan base to the town, not generating any business that can say when they filing their taxes, I did this because this artist is coming here. You don't have not one club that you promoting you. I mean, it's terrible to think like that, but you don't have nobody promoting you, and you're promoting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All of these venues are trying to get you to do something. You know how many venues down here you could probably partner up with? How many venues in California you could partner up with? How many venues in New York you can partner up with? And we'll promote you, even in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
That club would be like, JmoneyGibbs night.
Mm-hmm.
This Saturday. Pull up.
Mm-hmm.
City like Vegas, why do you think indie artists go there and become impersonators? Because every city will book you and put that name on the moniker because they care, because that's what the people want to see. They're asking, do you like Elvis? Elvis here. Can you be Elvis? You got the gig. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody in these smaller markets. They're promoting that Radio 1 that's doing the events for the kids, and since Radio 1 is not playing your music anyway, they can't bring you to perform for the kids. They can charge you to open up though, because they need your help to pay for that bill for that main artist that they brought in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, you realize, like, that's how they start promoting the artists in the DMV, based on how many artists do those type of events. That every real indie artist that's about their business know that you just didn't have $1,000 to do that show, or the $500 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because the term sell tickets is only to broke artists. No disrespect, but that's only to broke artists. Because a real artist that has his bag together understands that they're asking me for $1,500, $2,000 to do this show, but that artist is being paid $50,000 or $100,000 to be on the show. That radio broadcast for the week or the month is about $5,000, maybe $10,000, depending on how much they plan it. Those flyers that's all around the city that I'm gonna pay the $1,500 to get my name on it, I wonder how much they paying for those to be all around the city. The small artists understand that, and even if they do, they'll know, hey, I got 20 tickets, y'all. I'm opening up for woo woo woo. Y'all need to pull up. Here's your ticket. Here's your ticket. Here's your ticket. No, these artists are getting it, and they understand. I'm gonna make all this back regardless.
Mm-hmm. I seen a post the other day, and it was like, stop this. It was kind of like, stop discouraging artists. Like, stop making it seem like if they don't make it, if they don't get famous, if they're not famous, it's no point in rapping. He said on the post, he was like, there's a lot of artists making a salary of at least 50 to 60,000 a year, and that's pretty good. That's pretty good, just for music, to be making music. So
I saw that post, and I said to that guy, you know, artists want to be famous now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, y'all not understanding, like, artists are not. If artists don't want to be famous, don't quit your day job, because that's not famous.
Mm-hmm.
That's regular. However, you need some sort of fame to move, but you don't need fame to make money. But if you're making a lot of money, fame is going to come. And if you don't want that, unfortunately, you have to move out the way for someone that's making music for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can get your paperwork together. You can do all the open mics and all the showcases you want to do. You can be the man of your city. You can make your 50K, your 60K a year. Yes, you can be great at it. You know? But, like, just don't be one of those artists don't be one of those artists, if you've chosen that route, to be like, oh, they're not that good, I'm way better than them. They only say they're good because of this. If I was doing that, then everybody will be all on me. Well, you said you didn't want fame. Which is it? Yeah. There's nothing worse than a guy that says to my, like, says, I don't even like shopping that much. I don't even really care about clothes that much. And then when you in the mall, he like, ooh, this nice. How much is this? You think I should get this? Hey, I don't know. There's a lot of people that just don't be really knowing what they want out of life. It ain't just about music or anything. It's about life. Y'all know, a lot of people don't know what they want out of life.
Yep.
And listen, y'all, if you're under 35, don't feel bad. Because, you know, like the late, great Kevin Samuels used to say, after 35 is when things get a little, like when your mental or things get in question, or the way you are is in question. Before 35, you have a lot of room to grow and figure out what you want to be and who you want to be and where you want to go.
Right.
I mean, even the artist that makes music at 20-something, he has a right to change it by 27 and an even bigger right to change it in his 30s. I mean, you would hope they're not dumbing it down, but even if they are, you got to understand some artists, the artists that y'all say is dumbing it down or getting worse as they get older, those artists were grown while y'all were kids and they were already kids. So it's like no different than that in life syndrome. I think that for women it's called like the whole phase. You know what I'm saying? For men it's called like the whole phase and shit like that. When you start like running through women and you like, oh, I missed out on my opportunity to do this as a youngin', so now I'm grown and old, I'm gonna be a dummy. You know? So like that's no different in the music when you're making music and it's got to be so cut and dry, so precise and so commercial, so everything. When you get to a point, you're like, oh, I want to try this, I want to try that, I want to try this.
So does your HODAR ever reset? Like, you know what I'm saying? Does that, like, if you did go through that whole stage and all that?
Actually, it does not. It does not. It doesn't
like, you know how your engine, you know what I'm saying, it goes to empty and you refill, you know what I'm saying? You can refill your gas tank.
I think so.
No, the HODAR stays. The HODAR is, if you fill up that cup runneth over if you add more.
Right.
It runs over and spills a little, and so you need to fill it a little bit back up, right?
You can't pour it out. You can't pour it out. You can't start over. It's just a full pool. Every time someone walks by, they'll see that full pool there. You just have to understand something. It's up to the person who put that pool there to say, no one swims there anymore. We don't use that anymore. But
you can't run from your past.
Yeah, once you tip that scale. I mean, listen, like it's the chances of doing anything excessive in your life, you can repeat that. You can go back to it at any time. So you can never reset yourself. I mean, if I was an avid weed smoker, which I am, and I said today that I'm going to stop smoking for the rest of my life, anything can push me over possibly to have me smoking. The only difference is will I smoke publicly or privately.
Shit. I mean, depends on if you care what people think.
Oh yeah, correct. But if once you break it privately and realize that there's no shame in yourself, you'll do anything publicly. Self-shame is the only thing that really stops people from doing anything. If you lose self-shame, then you could be free as a butterfly or a bird. I don't know the saying.
Now, last week you had said something before we get into the ratchivity. Last week you had said something, and y'all like caught my attention. And I know we don't really get into religion, so we ain't really going to tell people what they should believe and how they should believe. But you had said, you was like, a lot of things change when people stop being scared of God.
Yep.
And I wanted to know, one, what made you say that, and elaborate on it.
When I was younger, I used to go to church seemingly every day. It didn't stop me from doing bad stuff, but it stopped me from thinking that bad stuff wouldn't come back on me somehow. You know, my mom would whoop my ass, or my dad would whoop my ass, or I'd be on punishment, or the worst thing, God's gonna strike me down.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I used to say that saying, oh no, God gonna strike you down for playing like that. Or God gonna strike you down for doing that. You know, the thing is now what I realized, we're in a world where everything is visually in our face. Right? And not trying to challenge God in no way, because we all know that that's not a thing to do, and that's never what I would do. But we're watching people get away with murder right in our face, y'all. I mean, we have a judicial system that says that innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Cops are wearing body cams and murdering us. Nothing's happening. There's cameras and eyes everywhere. We're watching on Instagram a man walk up and rob a whole restaurant. A man do a whole murder on World Star. A man just commit the most outrageous, atrocious thing that you could think of. And it's like any leads, any tips, still no evidence. We're like, we just watched it. How else do we work in this world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, there's a sense in everybody, I think, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, that's saying, if him, why not me? If her, why not me? A girl says, I made $1 million on OnlyFans. Everybody's on OnlyFans trying to make $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Quitting their job, buying a new iPhone and the Ring camera and learning how to do all the moves. All the old people saw kids was getting rich on TikTok, and now I got old people doing TikToks.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not your dance move, but hey, whatever. You know, that's what they want to do now. We're in a world, if him, why not me? We used to pray. Like, we used to pray and hope things happen. Now we just hate on everybody. That nigga ain't me. Oh, man. We're in a whole nother world now. The universe is throwing us curveballs that we have to be, or have to, like, adjust ourselves to. Anybody older than 35 has to really adjust your mental if you want to play in this realm. A lot of y'all are content and cool with things being the way it was. Shout out to my man Tony Bello. And this is a Tony Bello reference. But my man said he attacks artists all the time for the content in their music. It's about killing. It's about drugs. It's about disrespecting
Hold
women.
on, you said what now? Say that one more time.
He attacks the new artists about the content in their music all the time. You know, he doesn't like it. He doesn't agree with it. But have we listened to the old Tony Bello records? Have we listened to the old people records, period? Any rapper rapping in the 90s, have we listened to their records really? Literally, for real. Before we really start judging what's happening, like what's going on. Before we start criticizing what's going on. Before we start taking matters into our own hands.
Now you said something very, very, very interesting, because I want to share another video. Hold on. But go ahead, keep talking. I'm gonna share a video. You could keep going. But 20, I like how he said, I understand you can't judge people for what they talk about now, especially if we don't even know what you was talking about back then.
I mean, and to be quite honest, it's on record. Everything that everybody was talking about back then is on record. Where do y'all think these kids got it from? The reason why I said 2 weeks ago that today's artists are way more lyrical than they were back in the day. I mean, y'all was blatantly telling us how it was going to go down. How you was going to kill me and take me out. At least now, I got to envision, am I the op? Am I the one riding around with a stick? Is this a real stick? Am I going to hop out the whip? What is the whip? A lot of things. A lot of questions. A lot of questions. It peaks, you know. our interests.
Now, do you think we're being like? Do you think we're desensitized to killing each other and seeing each other die?
Yes.
As
To the point. We're so desensitized to the point where they gave us a button that says "See video anyway." After they tell you that this may be crazy, disgusting, and harmful to a viewer, we still get an opportunity to press that button to see anyway.
Yeah.
And I know y'all be seeing them like half. I pressed the joint half the time because it'd be like 1 million views on that video. And isn't it interesting that the cops use the term "We're sharing this video for the public"? They know we want to see it. I mean, how do they know we want to see it? What's number one in Hollywood? And right now, what's number one on TV? Reality is number one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, look, we could do a reality TV show right now, and if we recorded ourselves, maybe within a couple of months, we get it picked up by a major network if we're doing a bunch of fighting and gotcha shit.
Yeah.
Don't let one of us come out with like some type of felonies or something like that. Ooh. That is awesome TV.
But why is it like that now? Or has it always been like that?
Y'all know what though? Like, I was thinking to myself, this is what I was thinking, right? I was listening to an interview on one of the stations, Hot 92.3, with the female that wrote the song Juicy, right? Juicy got him crazy, get him. And they asked her the same question: do you think we desensitized, or do you think we're too stressed on the music? She said, think about it. No one said nothing to us talking about our Juicy, got him going crazy. They was talking about their sex and how good their sex was. No one talked about the woman, and we all made a dance and do it at the cookhouse with the electric slide that was apparently talking about a dildo.
For real?
Yes.
What?
Yes, the electric slide is her talking about her liking and using her dildo and being introduced to it by one of her friends. Yes.
What?
And we dance to it every cookout. It's electric. Boogie yiggy yiggy. And you know it's there.
I'm seeing her playing the lyrics in my head like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm today's years old. I never knew that. And I love that song.
Listen, the whole world loves that song. It pops out and it goes crazy. You see what I'm saying? But the reality of it is, we'll stop them or stop people. The older people, it's not the younger people. They get it from us. You know what I'm saying? They get the ratchetness from us. I mean, my little brother started throwing hands because he seen me always throwing hands. It was like, oh yeah, that's the move. Once he started seeing people carrying guns, now there's a whole nother move on it.
No, but we can't say these young niggas, these youngins got killing each other from us.
Well, what was we doing? Well, listen, not us per se, because we haven't killed anyone.
I'm talking about like
Rico.
the older generation. Like, I mean, yeah, they was talking about it, but it wasn't like this. Like,
listen, I would be straight up. These youngins are not influenced by us from the 90s. We have to understand that. That era is over. I need everybody to understand that that's watching in America right now. The era of thinking that we, born in the 80s, are influencing them, y'all need to cut it out. They're influenced by the artists of the late and early and late 2000s. These are their influences. These are their OGs. These are the people that they look up to. These are the people that talk about riding down, pop you on the melon. Riding, this is where it all started. I mean, listen, we could go over many Lil Wayne songs and he's talking about killing somebody really viciously. Eminem, what's he talking about? Hating his baby mother and disrespecting that hoe. You know what I'm saying? What the world is molded by. like today. All those artists and all of those artists were molded by the artists before them in the world before them. And it's always that distinction. The only reason a younger artist gets on is because he's talking beyond his years. He's or her is singing beyond their years. They don't get signed because they sound like a little 8-year-old, a little 7-year-old. That's not why they're signing you. They're signing you because your little ass can sing or can rap like you're damn 20. Longevity, baby. Longevity. Y'all think Bow Wow would have been on that joint if he was rapping like some ABC crap? Nah.
I mean, Romeo got on it. He was but
Romeo rapped just as good as the rest of them No Limit guys. So what you expect? 1 to the 2, 2 to the 3. I ain't saying leave homeboy, but you should leave with me. Like what? Like that was a bar from a real grown man. So surely Lil Romeo had a place on No Limit Records. I'm just saying. Yeah, but right. I don't look at you got that video ready, but I don't look at the way that the world is moving, the way these youngsters is moving right now. I look at it as a sign of what's to come for real. Like y'all know that it's gonna get way more turned up before it get better because we don't praise the J. Cole's. We don't praise the Kendrick Lamar's after the first week of their album dropping and the week up to promoting the album. We don't praise these artists. We don't sit up there and talk about artists like that. And you know why we don't? Well, like I said, because time. Everyone is battling against time. We can't last. Nothing can last anymore. I mean, we would bump a goddamn Tupac CD because we paid for that CD. It was freaking $10 to $15. I'm gonna play it until it's like, hey, hit him up, hit him up. I'm gonna try to wipe it down and get it rubbed around because I paid $15 for that CD. But now we're in a world where, hey, I pay monthly or I don't. Do I have to care? Do I have to value it? And now our artists up against the fact that because any and everybody can put food in front of their face, you don't have time to play it safe.
$250K for a feature.
What? Who that from?
Future.
I can see it.
Megan said she paid $250,000 for Future's feature on Pressurelicious.
Awesome. And that sounded, I'm not gonna lie to you, hearing that she paid that much, that sounded like a $250,000 verse. Because
people
I think the Future's verses, yeah, because like it wasn't even like it wasn't like he gave her like A1 blah 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 woo woo wah, but he should be able to charge that. Future says it charged him that he charged 1.5 just to talk. 1.5 just to talk. That's what he said. So he gave her a deal. He gave her a good beat. He gave her a good deal, and she got a good record out of it. Yeah.
What do you mean 1.5 just to talk?
That's what Future charge now.
So talk about what? Like just
no, whatever they want. If they want to talk on that beat, 1.5.
Damn. But would y'all pay $250K for Future?
Yes, I would pay Future. Listen, there are certain artists that we have to start thinking realistically, yo. Right? And we have to ask ourselves, I want these artists all. I want a video. I want them to possibly pop out on a show with me once, you know? Because if I'm getting all exclusives to this, I'm going to make a killing off of this. So $250,000 is peanuts when you think about She probably made that. She probably made that back off the single.
Mm-hmm. What about you, J Money?
Nah, I mean, it makes sense if you know your business. You know what I'm saying? Because you can make that right back if it's worth it. Because I feel like that money's definitely been made right back. Probably times 2. You know what I'm saying? Times 3, times 4. You know what I'm saying?
Like, y'all gotta understand like this, right? Artists, real artists again, artists, and if you take yourself serious, you are a real artist. You're not charging for a feature, right? It is a feature, but the real term should be how much do you charge for your work? It's no different than me calling up a paint company and saying, I need all the walls of my house painted red. How much do you charge? A carpet company, I need good carpet. I want the best carpet. How much do you charge? Now, at the end of the day, whatever I pay, they're not going to charge me every time someone walks on it or every time I show it off to someone or every time someone says, oh, your carpet is nice, right? They're not even asking me to say, carpet man laid it. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have to promote that, right? It's just like good carpet in my house. So when you as an artist, you're asking an artist because you believe that artist fits that track best and is going to make it look nice for your fans and your followers, and they're going to enjoy it. Right. So when that artist gives you his price to make your record look nice for everyone to come through and do whatever they do, right? You can't say, ooh, that's steep. You know, when I'm planning a party, I say, hey, we're going to do shrimp, we're going to do crabs, and things like that, right? And then I get up there and it's like, all right, that's such and such. I'm like, all right, well, how much for chicken? You know, like, if you can't give them what they want, just give them chicken. Give them hamburgers or something, right? Give them little franks, what they call them, glizzies. Do your thing on your budget. But if you want to give people a nice party that they're going to talk to later, you want people coming up like, yeah, man, they had shrimp last night at that party. They had crab legs for everybody, and it was nice. Like, that cost. It's going to cost. What's the saying that they use? It's a real popular saying. It costs to be the boss. Mm-hmm. So, come on now. We not acting like you ain't getting what you asking for when you ask artists to pay. Now, I do gotta say something because there was this one artist, and I'm not gonna say his name, but he called me. He said, "Hey, I'm trying to get this feature set up, but she told me she wants $750 for the feature." I said, "Hell nah, man." He said, "You don't think she's worth $750? I said, hell no, I didn't. I mean, let's just be real here.
Up here?
Now, she wasn't from here. But he was from there. That other artist was from somewhere else. She's not from DMV. She's not a local artist. But she's not an on artist either. I mean, she's not making any waves. She's not getting hundreds or tens of thousands. Let's just say tens of thousands of views. You know, she's not getting everyone looked at. It's as much an opportunity for her to collab as it is for him to collab. You see what I'm saying? We have to understand something. When Jezabel said there's levels to indie, there's levels to this. If you're an indie artist and you still get up in the morning and go to work to cash and wait for your check to get into your direct deposit from your boss, and you can't get in the studio because you got to work this week, but you can possibly do it next weekend if you off.
I hate.
Don't ask that man to pay you for a feature. Get that record done. Yeah, you're artists that get up every day, you working on your music, you on the road, you on tour, and this damn collab is about to take you away from your bag. You have every right to charge what you would make a day to do that record. Now, don't be ridiculous, because we can tell if you make $150 a day, $1,000 a day, $500 a day. Don't lie to it. I was like, yo, I make $1,000, $1,500 a day. Y'all need that money. No, you make about $100-something a day. Come on, I got it. It's about knowing the value and the worth. Don't look at an artist moving like a Big Flock and say, I want to do a verse with Big Flock, and he says $1,000, and you say $1,000 for you? Hello, that's what you was geeking for. That's what you liked.
I actually wouldn't even. I don't even think that's too much for Flock though, because
I mean, it is. It's a little much. It's a little much.
I don't think so. As much as I'm not a huge fan of him. I'm definitely feeling their new song.
I got Flock. I follow Flock on Spotify, y'all. All this new music, I get it. I like the artist, so I'm just messing with him a little bit. And that's why I use his name. I only use people that I really rock with on this show because I don't want nobody that I can't send a DM like, I was messing with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But the reality of it is, y'all got to understand, when I tell y'all, values of artists is not based on what you can see on social media, right? It's not based on that. I mean, anybody can. I see artists now like, yo, hit me up, we can do something, and they got all the golds and all the fronts and everything in their pictures is popping, and when you meet them, they got a home studio, don't know how to mix, trash, they can't record, takes them 5 hours to record a verse, and it's like, this is not real. They can't perform or don't do any shows. A lot of things is weird. So you ask yourself, what are real artists doing out here? I've seen a lot of people that y'all think are real artists have to grab my bags when I check into a hotel. I've seen artists that people really look up to in the back cooking at IHOP. You see what I'm saying? And when I tell y'all that some of these things to me be the most hurtful thing I've ever seen. And sometimes it's discouraging. Because it's like I'm half the time in places that I don't belong, and you would not believe that I'm there, because I know a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And when I see people, and I'm like, oh, this, bro, I was in line one day at the Dollar Tree, and don't ask me why I was shopping at the Dollar Tree. The wife wanted to go there and get some things for $1, obviously. But I'm in the line at the Dollar Tree, and I turn around, and I'm talking to the wife, and I turn around at the cash register, and I'm like, oh, it's an artist right there in my face. I'm like, bro, what are you doing here? He's like, hey, I'm gonna be back out. I'm gonna be back doing shows real soon. Don't worry, I'm back. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing here behind that register at Dollar Tree? What's happening?
Life could be happening.
Life is happening. I watched the show, and y'all know I watch a lot of reality TV, but I watched the show, and this artist was trying to get a record deal. And she was very adamant that she wanted to only sign with that label. So she finally got the meeting set up. Her manager set that meeting up, and she got to the table. And the first thing the two label guys said, because they don't care about your looks and stuff like that, ladies, on that white side of the table. That's our skin color side to be like, oh, you gotta look this, you gotta do this, and you gotta be that. Because they care about one thing only, the green side. But long story short, they asked her, they said, all right, what have you been doing to get ready for your album? She says, oh, I just been working, trying to stack up my money. They say, okay, like, what have you been doing working? And she told them her job, and they said, wait, we thought music was your job. So that put the light bulb off in my head. Like, wait a minute, this is a pretty major label that she got this meeting with. I'm sitting there like, how the hell did she even get this meeting? But we know reality TV is great for these type of things, But I'm sitting there like, okay, that's a real interesting question. I thought this was your job. What they were really saying was you ain't doing anything right, or you ain't doing something right. Because this is a job. 24/7, 365 job. If you ain't taking care of paperwork, you should be in the studios. If you ain't in the studio, you should be on the stage, then back off the stage, taking care of your paperwork, then back in the studio, then back on the stage, then back doing your paperwork, then back in the studio, then back on the stage. And I mean, a lot of you artists do not understand the words. Make it, drop it, forget about it.
Because they don't understand that paperwork is like your timesheet. You know what I'm saying? If you work a job for 2 weeks, you put in your timesheet for the amount of work you did for those last 2 weeks. But if you ain't done shit in 2 weeks, but be behind the register at McDonald's, or you know what I'm saying, whatever it is that you do, or you know what I'm saying, whatever your day job is,
or the worst ones record over 100 records and don't drop one.
Don't drop shit.
That's like I'm looking at myself like I see myself now as what we call a motivator of, how do I say this without sounding like an a-hole? I motivate people to want to be better than me. Right? Not motivate people to work, but I motivate people to want to be better than me. Which ultimately, if I do something in a circle, it pushes everyone else to try to do it 10 times better. And I tell a lot of people, if I'm your competition, you've already lost. Right? Because I'm not putting in any days off, any quit, and I'm kind of at the point where the words sacrifice are like a lifestyle. It's like, are you willing to sacrifice that? It's like, what's that? you know, like, y'all have to understand something. A lot of people look at that sacrifice word and that Illuminati thing and all that stuff like, oh, you got to kill off your mom. You got to kill off your dad and your cousins and your loved ones and all that shit. Y'all do understand that. I tell y'all in everything, death is not the idea of someone dying, literally, but the idea of cutting things back and off as if they're not even there. Yep. And sometimes a lot of things that y'all got is dead weight anyway, holding you down, holding you back. Now, I'm not sitting up here saying sacrifice your loved ones. I know JmoneyGibbs, oh, here, like, is he telling people join the Illuminati? Is he telling people join the Illuminati? Yes and no.
Sometimes I don't know what the fuck he be saying.
Nah, bro, like, I be talking, like, shout out to Red Bulls again, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I be on it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be on it, bro. Like, everything is a contrast. Because the way I look at life now, bro, I'm like, if we're not contrasting it to something, then we're going to be lost. Mm-hmm. You feel me? If we're not looking at that, you're like, oh, how can I compare this? How can I think about how to say this the right way? We could be canceled. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, you have to be on your feet. You know what the wife told me? She says, I'm too combative and argumentative because, like, I'm always talking on social media. I'm like that 24/7 now. Was like, no, you're wrong. First of all, that's not how it happened. And if you don't believe me, Google it. I become the Google it guy.
Yeah, I know you read Google all night.
Bro, I'm such a Google addict. It's just like, I don't know. Because, and like, let me tell you what leads me to Google. The people. Mm-hmm. The people. It's like, everything is a challenge to me. Not because I want to be challengeable or challenging, but
these motherfucking words.
So what? We all make words, but not because I want to be challenging or challengeable. It's because I'm looking at the whole ramifications of how now social media works. You're not waking up in the morning to give me this long status for me not to engage it. And you definitely didn't come here for me to stroke your social media ego. A lot of people wake up in the morning and they want to be challenged. They want to use both sides of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And you get puppets. You get puppets that's like, you right. And they like they start getting that sense of, oh yeah, I am it. I know I was right. And then it's always got to be somebody like me to jump in there and be like, but think about it like this though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like there's a lot of people that be ready to go off or ready to walk away without thinking about it on the other side. It's like, yo, I had to tell one of my friends. He said, man, F that police. He had me in that car 30 minutes. That he's gonna come back and tell me I can finally, I can step out the car and he's gonna arrest me. I said, well, bro, did you have a warrant or something? He said, just a little probation violation that I didn't know nothing about. And I said, well, that's how it happens. Sergeant told him he had to bring you in. I said, I'm gonna tell you like this though, cop, as a cop family member that got a bunch of cops in his family, he sat in that cop for 30 minutes because he was pleading with his sergeant to let you go. It don't take 30 minutes to tell a nigga that, yeah, arrest him or not. That's a 5. As soon as we run your tags and verify that it's you in the car,
Mm-hmm.
or as soon as they run your tags and verify it's you in the car, the arrest can be made. If it takes 30 minutes or that long, he's in that joint like, he compliant. He's cool. I can give him a warning. I can tell him. You know, I can give him a court date. And I pulled over by a cop in College Park, and I knew I was wrong, and I knew for sure that I was about to go to jail. And his sergeant Shirley told him, take me to jail. And he explained the whole process to me. And he says, I'm going to take you to jail because I have to, but I'm not going to take you to the main jail. He says, I'll also give you an opportunity to call somebody to meet you at the jail so you ain't got to stay in too long. I ended up doing like a couple of hours, but it was way better than the other alternative for going to the big jail. You know,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, hey, cool with me.
Was that in Georgia? And was it?
No, it was definitely not in Georgia, and it was definitely in PG County. I've learned something in Georgia. You can't get in trouble unless you do something dumb. You know, it ain't like the DMV where they pull you over because your damn front tag is missing. You know, it's like, what? There's a tag in the back. Like, they pull you over because your tag hanging. You know, they pull you over because you're walking too slow or walking through a neighborhood. I mean, DMV, there's so many ways that you can get in trouble not doing nothing. That it's like, wow, that happened. I mean, like, there's times in the DMV that I've asked myself, did I do that? I've had warrants for things that I was not even in the vicinity of. So, screw the DMV for the legal system. Screw the DMV legal system. And it's probably screw all legal systems because Clayton County has it really bad. Georgia has it really bad too. But I've learned my lesson. Like, if you ain't doing nothing dumb and heinous, you good here. You good here. So, yeah, no, man. Artists just got to work. Artists got to stop making excuses and putting these own obstacles in their way. And y'all got to start manifesting what y'all want. If y'all learning that you can get yourself killed through your music, you know, all you rappers that's bragging and talking about what you want to do and where you'll be, if you realize that, why don't you start talking some power in your music? Talk some stuff that can really, like, uplift people in your music. Mm-hmm. Talk some stuff, like, honestly, if you talk some stuff to encourage and uplift your life and speak that into your life, the people that's following you or watching you will follow your module, and they will start to encourage their life. Y'all got to realize, everybody don't have to be a rapper to get the lifestyle that we want. But why y'all like rappers? Y'all like rappers because they talk the talk you like to listen to. They drive the cars that you like to drive. They dress the way you like to dress. They think the way in their music the way you like to think. This guy is hilarious.
I love Charles Stewart. All right.
when the reports were saying he was dead, he hadn't died. The heartbeat hadn't really got the reports yet.
Oh, I didn't even tell y'all what this is about.
I read it.
But I'm not. I'm never sad when a rapper dies, especially when he done rapped about killing. And when you look in his background, homie, they done destroyed the community with their words. My words is uplifting the community. And it's destroying what's destroying us.
Wow.
I'm never sad, homie, when one of them die. I'm sad for their families. But even then, homie, I still stand with the victims. I still stand.
I don't know why my thing freezing. But did y'all hear him?
I heard him. I just said that, and I didn't never see that. I never saw that interview. Mm-hmm. One thing about it, he contradicted himself. Once a person is killed, they're the victim as well.
No. He was gonna finish it and say that's why he's staying with the families, because the families are the victim. You know, the families of the victims.
Yeah, like let me tell y'all like what's crazy about, and that's what's like wow, because like I said, they're not inheriting their own troubles. You know what I'm saying? I know an artist that was doing nothing and in a gang and they loved him. You know what I'm saying? Like do his thing. But now you look at Nipsey Hussle. The minute you step yourself up, what they want to do? Kill you, take you out, tell you ain't doing enough.
What was Nipsey doing before he started up? You know, you can't. Who said that in the comments? You can't run from your past or something like that.
Nah, you can't run from your past. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna catch up to you. Mm-hmm. But the reality of it is, like I said, these people's past are predated by someone else's past. They're just carrying a torch that they can't seem to let go. I mean, like, if somebody kills my folks and I ride down on them 2, 3, 5, 10 years later, their folks ride down on me 10 years later. The people that's new don't know 30 years ago that this how this all started. Mm-hmm. They only know 10 years ago the last death was this, or the most recent one, and this is the one that I've heard about. Mm-hmm. Like, do you think that? Let's play devil's advocate. Do you think that if someone told, "Hey, yo, no, they killed Lil Tony because Lil Tony killed Big Mike 5 years ago, so they even. This is all could be done now. It would all be done."
I think about that sometimes, though. That's funny you said that. Like, these kids beefing, or they don't even know where the beef originated. And it's funny you said that because do you know Larry Hoover denounced his throne of being in the GDs?
Yeah, he's supposed to be the owner of it. Founder, right?
He said, fuck that shit. I'm no longer a part of it. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't know nothing about what's going on with it. Like, I just want to live the rest of my life in peace. He been in jail, I think, 50 years. And he finally is like, nah, I don't even want to claim that shit no more.
Yeah, it's like, man, like, I want to Larry Hoover to get out because Kanye wants him to get out. I stand with Kanye. But in the same breath, bro, this gang is going to be forever. And that's why he's in jail forever. Because it ain't about you denouncing your... He needs to understand it's not about you. You haven't done anything gang affiliated in almost 50 years, obviously, right? Let's just say the last 25 years, you haven't done anything gang affiliated. You can't. They under you. They on you heavy. So you don't even know what it's like. But the gang life is forever. And your gang is forever infamous. So someone has to pay forever. And because we can't go and get every little damn GD that they fucking make, you know, well, we gotta just keep you in here as a constant reminder of what happens to the next person that wants to be you. We don't want to give the next person that wants to be you hope to say, oh, I can denounce it and I'm out. I can do 50 years and I'm good. You listen, could you tell a 20-year-old, hey, shoot, I can hear a 20-year-old out there say, shoot, 50 years? Shit, I'll be 70 still banging, cuz. I'm good.
Nah.
That's how it would be if they start letting people out because they say I'm no longer with the Jones.
No.
I mean, shit. I don't know how this plays out in America. I don't know how any of this stuff plays out anymore. What I do know and what I am sure about, though, is that it ain't going to get no better no time soon. We gotta just like roll with the punches. I tell everybody right now, I'm not talking to all the people that have conformed and are comfortable where they at. I'm talking to the people who ask themselves, why them and not me? You know what I'm saying? Like, because we're in that world right now where y'all have to ask yourselves, if them, why not me? And ladies, like, jumping on like sites like OnlyFans and stuff like that because the next lady made $1 million, you might have to find something new to do, you know, something different. You can't say I want to do the exact same thing she's doing. You know, like we got that video. They already subscribing to that. You know what I'm saying? Just like artists. It's just like artistry. It's just like artistry. It's just like artistry.
Just like
could you imagine? Like, they all doing the same moves. They all rapping the same way. They all doing the same thing. They all saying the same thing. That's how we get. We're in a world now where everybody is like, hey, why do everybody feel comfortable with starting a podcast right now? Well, because they see it. They see all I got to do is click on this and do that and do that. I got a friend of mine who just started the podcast. He asked me to be a part of it. And I'm like, oh, that sounds great. I definitely would be a part of that. You know, we could just talk shit and do a lot of crazy shit. But then I'm thinking to myself, how? When do I have time?
Thought time don't matter.
Exactly. Time is fake. Time is fake. We have to put stuff together and we have to drop stuff. We have to put what we want in motion. We have to go after everything that we want right now. We can't sit up there and keep on saying, I'm tired. I have to be here. If I'm not here, I'm not going to have this, because that is why you don't have that. The this is keeping you from that.
Man, what happens now is they want to copy and paste. And they want everything on microwave. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not used to the slow cooker or everything in the air fryer now. So it's just bing, you know what I'm saying? Bada bing, bada boom. They're not used to the process.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bake and having to heat up the oven to 425 and wait till the oven's preheated before you put, you know what I'm saying? The process, you know what I'm saying? People don't understand the process now. They just think it's everything magical. Make it happen right away. And sometimes when you go through the process, that's when you appreciate and value things more. You know what I'm saying? Just like you were saying, like, you used to value a CD more because you had to go out and get that CD. Or you back in the day when they had to get records, they value that record because they had to go out and get that record. But if you realize it, history always repeats itself. And it's always going to be that age group, that generation that's going to influence the next generation. And if you don't realize that, no matter how old you get in the music industry, you have to realize that it's going to keep repeating itself. And if you're not getting hit to what's happening with the new generation, you're going to be stuck talking about back in my day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not all time. That's called old timers. You know what I'm saying? That's just when you old, because you used to, back in my day, we had the phones.
Man, all y'all back in my day people, I want to tell y'all something. Today is your day. Today is your day.
Yesterday.
All right.
Y'all like sports, right?
I love sports. Football's back. Yeah.
Wow.
So y'all know what though? What was you about to ask me about sports?
I was gonna say, you have any kids that play sports?
Nah. My son played basketball, but that season has not started yet, thank you, Jesus. Because when it does, that means practice is on Mondays, which sucks.
Are you like are you very passionate about your kid when they're playing the sports? And how passionate are you? Are you passionate enough to shoot coach?
Let me tell you one thing. All right, listen. Let me tell you something for real, though. Real story. My brother is he owns a youth football and semi-pro football organization, DMV Knights. Shout out DMV Knights. Now, one game I went to, and I mean, The parent was on the sideline, like letting them coaches have it. You feel me? But one thing that the coach didn't know was, or the guy didn't know, was that I was at the game that day and I was the crazy twin. So this guy was really like letting my brother have it. I mean, going crazy on my brother. My brother's been real professional, real cool about it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and knock him out. You know what I'm saying? That was my whole synopsis of it. And this is actually the day that I found out that my cop is a DC police. Because I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna knock him out, you know. And I'm on my way to knock the guy out as he's yelling at my brother from the sideline. And my cousin stops me. He says, "Stop, cuz I'm DC police. If he do anything, I'm just gonna arrest him." I say, "Oh, cuz when you become DC police," that's pretty interesting, you know. But it made me understand something that, yeah, these parents are crazy about their kids and their sports. Why? Well, A, they're investing a lot of money in these kids for their own personal dreams and their own personal glorifications. Why my kids don't play sports? Because I got a thing with my kids. I don't do anything that they don't show me 100% that they into. I won't even waste my time or my money. My kids say they want to play sports, but I don't see them practicing, learning, watching, or doing anything athletic. So before I waste my money putting them on a sports team or anything, I'm just like, hey, if all you do is play video games all day, you must be talking about e-gaming, so I'll buy you Madden and 2K. You see what I'm saying? But there are kids who get up every day and find their way to the basketball court, or can't be seen without a football throwing it, or practicing hard every day trying to flip or be as athletic, or when they say they want to be music artists, they're singing all the time. They say they want to be doctors, they're looking at nothing but doctor stuff and studying this stuff. There's a 13-year-old girl right now being accepted into a doctor's program and will be receiving her doctorate degree in the next 4 years, and she's only 13. So I believe in reincarnation. I don't know if anybody else does or whatever, and I really don't care. But I believe in reincarnation. I believe that that's why these kids are younger and faster, stronger, smarter, and getting to the money way quicker. They're coming out way more advanced because although they don't know who they were, the dreams and the goals of the spirit and the goals and the ambitions of one's spirit does not change. Talent is God-given. That's what everyone says. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's like you're faster because you were always the fastest, and you're coming out in today's world and you're still the fastest. Records are being broken by people that seemingly do things that people said athletes could never do. Look at the top athletes now. You got Sha'Carri Richardson and Brittany Griner. And it comes out that they're avid weed smokers, but we was told if you smoke weed, you couldn't do anything but be lazy and eat munchies all day. It's like the stigmas that's put into this world is all being taken away from us now. Yeah. We don't have to ask. We don't have to think the old way. And old people are still saying back in my days. Well, back in my days, artists were getting a penny for a record.
But do you think, I mean, like, what instance, I mean, like, what would make a parent shoot a coach?
Honestly, like the investment. The investment, like, listen, honestly, we don't know. We're talking about shooting a coach, but we're talking about man to man, right? Mm-hmm. We can't, like, I'm not thinking about the fact that it was at a youth football game, but we talk about man to man. Like that Talib brother from the video I seen, he seemed to be reacting to a man to man issue because men don't know how to speak to each other anymore. No one knows how to speak to each other anymore. I mean, it's so easy for. I play a video game on 2K. I miss a shot, and they automatically like, "F you, you suck." SMD, you suck. And I'm like, "Geez, just one shot. Can't miss one. Don't pass that bum the ball anymore." I mean, like, no one is willing to be kind, courteous, respectful anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, like, honestly, the thing is, it's sad and unfortunate that that coach got shot, and justice will be served and due justice and that process. But we're in a world now where if I hit J Money or J Money hit me, or if we're in a heated argument, we have to already assume that one of us is going to get shot. So one of us has to take that road and say, "I don't want to get shot. Let me de-escalate this." And I'm sorry, people of today's world, man, woman, non-binary, transgender, you all have to understand this. If you're not walking around thinking, "I can get shot today," you're lunching. If you're walking around thinking, "I can say whatever I want, do whatever I want, I'm bigger, badder than everybody walking around," and you still doing that in 2022, and you feel like, "I don't have to de-escalate, I don't have to speak, and I don't have to, do anything," I'm sorry. You better get over that shit. No disrespect to y'all, all calm, courtesy people, but y'all keep thinking that this world is lollipop and rainbows, and they're not playing with y'all and playing with us no more. A lady asked me at Popeyes. I'm at Popeyes, just wearing my jewelry. She said, "Why are you wearing all that jewelry? You're not afraid that someone's going to walk by here and snatch it all off your neck?" I said, "No, ma'am." She said, "Well, what gives you that confidence?" I said, "No weapons formed against me shall prosper, ma'am."
She started laughing.
She said, "It's no way that you a youngin', that you as young as you look." She said, "Because the youngest don't pray no more, don't believe in the Bible, or don't believe in that stuff." And I said, "Well, ma'am, I'm not as young as I look, and yeah, I stay prayed up. I even got it tatted on my arm. I don't know if y'all can see it. No weapons formed against me. I got a lot of scriptures tatted on me, but that's one thing that I stand by." But like, are we in? She? But let's just be real. She gets it. That lady gets it. We're in a world where you have to understand, my friend, that could be you on the other end of a World Star video any day. So what stops you from building that? The way you move, the way you treat people, the way you talk to people, the energy that you put out in the universe that's throwing curveballs at us right now. That's really showing us that it's all about what you putting out there. What you put out there, you gonna get back. That's why Charleston White is free to say, "I don't care about a person that perpetuates violence and talks about all the people he done killed and ran down on." Well, shit. If my cousin is Sean and you putting that song, "Sean, I killed him, took him out and built him. Yeah, I straight built him." Now I know now. I ain't got to ask myself no more. I'm coming after you. You done told me it was you. If I ain't got enough heart, one of Sean's friends do. Y'all heard what he said about Sean? That's all it really takes for you to get got right now. Y'all heard what he said? You know what I'm saying? And all the artists that get on live, and I don't like these, but I see these videos where the artists get on live. They're like, "Pull up, pussy! Pull up, nigga! You know where I'm at? Pull up!
Next day,
pull up!" And it's like, next day they did.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, we reading they got killed 5 minutes after that. It's like, bro, you could have de-escalated that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I can't say that I really feel what what he was saying, but like the artists that I don't know about, and then I hear about it, I'm like surprised, and like I can't say that I have as much empathy as I would for artists that I listen to, or that I was familiar with their music. Because then when I do go back and listen to these artists, I'm like, well, he was talking about some wild shit anyway. Like, Like, what was I really missing?
That's why though, because the artists that you choose to listen to, or the entities you choose to invite in, if you hear something like that, you automatically think, no way. Like, what? Them? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not in the eras where the top artists of the world are the Pops and Biggies right now. Like, they're not the top guys. I don't care how much a trap or drill rapper makes. They're not the top. They're not the go-to guys. Future may have came in the game as a trap artist, but he understood, I'm not going to get these movie deals. I'm not going to get these game placements if I keep on being that guy. Let me give y'all some honest, and let me give y'all some trophies and stuff like that. Now, I got to do this, y'all, because this week I got a Huffington Post.
Wow.
And this one is rather good. So, if you're prepared, buckle up, because I got a story to tell about the huff. Enough huff. I don't want stuff. Had enough huff. Can't take no more. This is the Huffington Post for today. Now, I got to tell y'all this because I know y'all don't really understand how life works, but we still got people that like to look out for their mans. But I'm here to tell you, if your mans have just came home and he's your guy, you can't help him out. There has to be some type of time frame in between in which you can do this. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this Huffington Post story because I got to tell y'all, I had one of my friends. I hadn't heard from him in a long time, so I had to cop some trees. Mm-hmm. It was obviously because I hadn't heard from him in a while, and I wanted to see if he was okay, and I wanted to make sure he was good, and plus I had been hitting him because his prices were the best prices that I could find. Well, after spending a lot of money these past 3 weeks, I finally got him to answer the phone, and he had told me, yep, he was in the big house for a while. Well, I pulled up on him because I surely knew he needed the money, and I knew he had to have some of that good old gas that he used to have. Mm-hmm. So I pulled up, driving about good 30 minutes out of my way. Well, not really too bad out of my way. It was a decent drive. It was cool on the back road. Pulled up, and I knew it was all good. My man's was good. He was home, and I was in business. He had me a Ziploc bag, but something seemed odd about this Ziploc bag. It was double Ziplocs.
Double zip.
I didn't question it because he just came home, maybe trying to keep the scent, everything fresh. So I went ahead and got home. This is when I found out, y'all, that I had got huff. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. His last 3 weeks have been so tough that I didn't call him out on that huff. I knew that he'd already had it rough, so I wasn't going to call him back about that huff. I'd already had enough, but the way things was going with him, I just had to take it on the chin and deal with that sin and smoke it again and again. I knew there was no way that strand was going to win, so I had to cop from someone else yet again. I didn't really want to spin, but I did in the end, just to realize that I still got the stuff that I didn't smoke in the beginning. So as I'm thinking to myself, I realized that I had to give one piece of advice. When your man has come home and he's always done you right, you have to give him the same amount of time he's done in before you can shop again. Because he didn't properly spend the bin, he just reached back in for whatever it was that he can limitly spend. So now while you're thinking about a strand that was going to get you good and right, you might have just got a strand that'll get him through the night. So do not ever inhale by trees from a man who's just got out of a cell. That is the Huffington Post today. I hope that I've helped you all out, and I hope that if your man has got out, he doesn't double Ziploc you like I got. It's all love. It's all good.
What do you mean a double Ziploc?
That's when it's in one Ziploc bag, and then in another Ziploc bag
inside of it. He put that one.
Did you smell anything?
It was double sealed. It was double sealed. It was double zip. It was sealed to
vacuum sealed in Ziploc. It was just Ziploc and Ziploc.
One zip and then another Ziploc over top of that Ziploc.
Did it look green?
It was green. It looked decent. It looked decent, y'all. It looked decent. It just wasn't. It was the 3. It wasn't the 1 or the 2. It was the 3.
It was okay.
Honestly, like when he recovers and gets back and full round, I'm gonna ask him, did he say me, Reggie? But that's neither here nor there. But God is good anyway.
Maybe he didn't.
Speaking head dropping some, y'all already know. Maybe he knew. J-Money, what you got coming up? It's a big week for you, my boy.
August 20th is going down. Make sure you're there. Going down in Tucker, Georgia. The Spot Bar and Grill. It's going to be a lituation.
J-Money with the bald head. JezabelDaTruth, you coming down?
Hold on. I don't even.
Like flights.
I know. I gotta look that shit up. I will try my best. I'm supposed to be doing something else, but I'm not going out or nothing. But we'll see. We'll see if I can make it right quick. Hold on.
Coming up.
What I got coming up? Aruba.
Aruba? Yeah. That sounds like somewhere I can't even afford.
Whatever. Aruba. In the meantime, y'all, while y'all still in here, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom.
Yes, sir. Leave some comments. Leave some tricky fire emojis. Please don't leave those kissy face emojis. We don't know who y'all talking to.
Probably you. But yeah, next week I want to dive into some other topics with y'all, and I don't know if y'all think I should bring the whole truths back. Just let me know. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Listen, this is the year. Bring it back, remodeling and revamping. Bring it on back. And I tell you one thing for sure, 3 things for sure. Y'all know y'all can catch me Saturday on Hip Hop 95. Show's been real good lately as people have been giving me so much great content. If you want to be hip to what we're going to be talking about, you can check out my old book page. And if you are an avid listener of the show, you know old book is Facebook. And if you check out my Facebook, I got some nice little tidbits on there, what we might be talking about on the show and definitely will be talking about on the show. So y'all can check out there and see what's on there. Like I said, my man J Money do got some shows coming up. So y'all be sure to keep on checking out his Instagram. Follow the Boss Biz Radio, Instagram. Go on that joint and spam some of those photos, some of those videos. Check out some of those artists, some of those talent. And we just dropped that clip from last week, and it was hilarious. I didn't realize how hilarious that was until watching the clip. Y'all gotta know it. Always, we'll be back next Monday, 5:00 sharp. Unless something crazy or ghetto happens in the world of the universe. Anything else, y'all?
I think that's about it.
At this time, I guess they're going to be flicking the ashes off those roaches, throwing the roaches in the ashtray, and getting ready to roll another one. Because I'm out. Peace.
Bye, y'all.